Good morning, Botai, Shavua Tov. Last week we spoke about some of the halachot of shehiyah, which means leaving on food on the fire before Shabbat, and it continues to get cooked on Shabbat. Now I'm going to speak about some of the halachot of Chazara. Chazara is also a very, very important part of Shabbat, which is after something has been taken off the fire, the heat source on Shabbat, returning it to that heat source on Shabbat, is it permissible or not? Now, between the Shulchan Aruch, between Maran and the Rama, there are different conditions for permitting Chazara, for permitting returning something to the fire on Shabbat. I'm going to speak about the conditions according to Maran and Shulchan Aruch. Now, first of all, it makes a difference, at least at this point, between solids and liquid foods. Let's first speak about a liquid food. The Halacha is, according to Maran, first and foremost, the fire has to be garuf v'katum, which means the fire has to be covered, like either a plata, blech, whatever it is. If the fire is open, there's absolutely no permissible way, once something is taken off an open flame on Shabbat, to put it back onto an open flame on Shabbat. It is asur because of something called mechzekim vashel. It looks like cooking. It appears like it. That's number one. Number two, says Maran, is that the liquid has to obviously be fully cooked. If it's not fully cooked, then besides for mechzekim vashel, you have an issue of mevashel mamash. It's bishul. Now, number three, says Maran, it has to be, even though it's fully cooked, since it's a liquid, it still has to be yad soledet bo. It has to be roteach. It still has to be yad soledet bo. It's machlok poskim. We've spoken about this before. According to Maran Zechron Bracha, yad soledet bo is approximately 175 Fahrenheit. Yeah, there's different shitot among the poskim achronim. La halacha, it's about 175 Fahrenheit. It has to be that. Once it dips under that, you can't put it back, even if it's garuf v'katum. And last of all, says Maran, it has to be lo hinicha al gabe karka, which means you didn't put that pot of food onto the floor or anywhere else that shows that you are done with it. For instance, let's say in the fridge or anywhere. Floor is just an example of somewhere where you show it's done. Now, when you put it back on, it's not a chazara. It's not considered something that you're doing again. You're returning something. It's considered something shiyah batechila. You're doing something to begin with, which is asur. Now, if you put it, let's say on the counter. Let's say you put a pot of soup on the counter. Over there's machlok poskim. According to a Gaon of Moshe Levi, putting something on the counter is like you're done. Nevertheless, Agoni Yalkut Yosef disagrees with that. He says, no, if it's a part of the counter they usually serve from, it's not like putting it on the floor. It's considered you're still osekpo. It's considered you're still involved with it, and it's not considered like it's off the floor. You would still be permitted, when all of the other conditions are filled, to put it back on the heat source on Shabbat. Be'ezrat Hashem, in the following days we'll speak about what the halacha is with regard to solid foods and chazara Yom Tov.